Okay, move to open the Board of Assessors meeting of Tuesday, January 13th, 2026 at 5:31. First item on the agenda is open session.
I actually did have a question.
Sure.
So I've been looking over the LA3, the sales reports that you had sent them a while back. I just had a question on the assessment sales ratio is the assessment of the property at the time it's sold, right? So it's the assessed value divided by what the sale of the property.
Divided by sale, yeah.
So, just looking at the LA3 that was submitted, it looks like the assessment sales ratios are using the newer values.
That would have been after we first look at it before the values. And
Okay.
So we start with what's there, and then you have to make them come in for the whole town. It has to be between 90 and 110%.
Right.
So that's what that form was, what we were going to submit to the state. So it was after it was worked on.
Oh, okay. Because that's what I was trying to understand is why, if the assessment sales ratio was or is, the assessment at the time it's sold divided by the price of the selling, why we use the newer values that they're going to be future assessed at.
Like the second go at it, and I think I gave that to you guys when I was going to submit it to the state.
Yeah.
It has to be already looked at and worked on, and then I submit that to the state.
Okay. Good. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, second thing on the agenda is Maureen Clark to provide office updates.
Well, we got the bills out.
Woo!
Woohoo.
Sure did.
And so, anyway, so the bills are out, and right now, there's not too much going on at the office. We are just in the abatement season, so people have been coming in and calling up and just questioning their assessment, which is great, and asking. Some have filed abatements, some are happy with our explanation. But it's been a busy week with the abatements and probably the rest of the month. But other than that, we're pretty good with everything in the office. We'll start working on the mapping probably at the beginning of February. Tara does that. PM's keeping updated on the chapter land and the exemptions. So right now we're in good shape.
Super. All right, next item on the agenda is meeting minutes.
Okay, here you go. Just one set.
On meeting minutes, do we not have them updated on the website in terms of the ones that have been approved? I'm not talking about necessarily like the immediate ones, but okay.
Tara, have they been updated? Yeah.
For the most part, I think first of all, with the executive sessions, we had a motion years back that we still stick to, which is executive is not released until 90 days after the decision.
Right.
But with the open session, when it's signed, it is typically uploaded within a week or a week before or a week after.
Yeah. Okay, I was just having trouble finding it, so.
The website can be a little bit cumbersome. I always find it best by going to the main calendar on the home screen and then going back to the month that you're looking for and going from there. For some reason, the website does kind of split things up between past agendas in minutes and then current agendas in minutes, but the current ones are we've been doing that for maybe 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can help you if you want to call. I can walk you through.
Okay, yeah. So I just went to the agendas minutes tab that was on the home page, and I couldn't find anything.
No.
It was a precursory look, but
you're not alone with that. Let me tell you, it's
I can help you with that.
I know. I'm just thinking we should probably contact whoever the IT is.
I agree.
Don's website.
Dan,
So
Steve,
I had a question on this last year with another particular department in town. And the best thing you do is you go to Zoom.
Okay.
Every single meeting in this building is recorded.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to look at the minutes. You can just go to that Zoom and watch that.
It takes a little.
Yeah, but I was going to say a lot longer to watch.
Depending upon
entire meeting.
If you're looking for something specific,
no,
you
just
want to see what's going on at that particular meeting.
Yeah. Again,
you're going to find that much quicker then you will minutes on that website.
And I have voiced, I think it's difficult to navigate through and
Yeah,
the,
I actually,
what I've
I
heard
like the
back
old
is
website
that
better.
it's more that I'm computer illiterate, but I'm like, just
It's
looking,
not,
I
no,
can
it's
go to
not
other,
logical.
yeah, I go
It's
to other
not
sites and it's easier, so.
Yeah. Okay.
But I will, we have a new town administrator, Scott, and so
I
pass
can't
it on
remember
to
what his
him.
last name is.
Lambiase?
Lambiase. Thank you.
Lambiase. Since the 50 started, so he's into his second week.
Okay.
Where did he come from?
He came from Abington. So, seems like nice. He worked in Duxbury a little bit before,
Yeah,
but
no, I worked with him over there.
He's the second town administrator that came from Abington.
they're just like assessors, they move around.
That's musical chairs and everything in town halls.
Yeah,
Just to backtrack a little bit.
Kevin, I think Kevin Donovan came from
but
Abington too.
Scott, it's good to have him here.
All right, I do have an announcement. This meeting is being recorded by the local scene. Anyone intending to make an audio or video recording of this meeting should notify the chair at this time. Had to get that in.
Better late than never.
Yeah, right, it's there, you know.
Right?
All right, now we get bills.
Okay, so we have two bills. One's for Pam to take a class and the other one is for me to use app, which we have to take that's a day class, which assessors have to take every 2 years.
What is use PAP?
It's like ethics and it's really for appraisers more, like all the things you can do, what's ethical, what's not. It's pretty dry. Steve, you had one of
Yeah,
those very last year.
It is more the ethical and the procedural things that you're supposed to follow. If you Google it, you'll get the big huge document. It came about in 1989 when the first bank failure happened. Congress said, "Oh man, we got to make rules for these guys that are doing appraisals," and they did. And
it was appraisals mainly, and then it came over to the assessment.
Yeah,
It was the banks anyway. It wasn't the appraisers.
right. Yeah, that's
It was the banks.
it's kind of getting a little overburdened with this.
Every 2 years.
Well, just these newfangled things of what words you can use and can't use. So gets a
You
bit.
have the appraiser.
Yeah.
Part of them you do in there. The next bill is from Vision. It's the PDFs for the website. So the new ones are already up there.
Sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
Mr. Stevens. I think you and I both did the same thing. We signed on top of the clear sticky.
Oh,
You shouldn't
was the clear
be-
sticky there?
Yeah, I did the same thing. I didn't see it until,
I didn't even see it.
so, you,
So.
there's a few people that signed off on it already.
My signature on?
I did.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it now. There's a little bit of it.
So yeah, the website is all set. It has the PDFs on there.
Right.
Thank you. This is,
Can I ask a question on using Vision? So you used to have Vision, so you could, it wasn't just through Access.
yeah, you're right, I know.
And,
So
and you,
this puts them on the G, the GIS.
Yeah, I know we
in the
did.
GIS.
Go ahead.
So you used to be able to like look up properties and look up comparable sales,
Mhm.
those types of things. That's not available anymore.
No, the board voted, I don't know, a year and a half ago because of the cost to not have that feature anymore. And I know it was before this board, but I know Ken, you liked
Oh,
it
yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
I used it a
Yeah,
lot.
Ken used it a lot.
yeah, I think it's a good feature because especially for people that are,
How much did we save? By doing that?
I think a little more, yeah, $4,000 or $5,000.
that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Maybe you should talk to Vision and say, because of all of their customers do that. They're the ones that are losing.
Yeah, but the thing, we just did an RFP over in Stoughton and we couldn't even look at their RFP. It was that egregious as to how huge the price was. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I just didn't,
Well, here's the thing,
Yeah.
having done a lot of programming in my life, when you write the program to do that kind of thing, it's out there. And all they have to do to make it work in any given town is flip a switch and it works.
Well, good. They charge you $5,000. They charge each town $5,000.
I
that they have
understand,
in
but if
Massachusetts.
all the towns start doing what we did, they're just shooting themselves in the foot.
I think it is useful, you know, because I have, again, I get people that ask all the time,
Mm.
you know, not only how do I look it up, but, well, if I'm gonna go to the assessors with an abatement, I said, well, you should have like comparable sales. Well, how do I get comparable sales, you know? Because if you look at the property cards themselves, it doesn't say, hey, you know, we use this as a comparable sale, that sort of thing, or anything like that.
No,
That's why I had
There is
asked.
there's a simple enough report I can show you in Vision to run, and you can put that on the website. But that's in Excel.
I could put a sales report in there.
Yeah.
But then you still have to go through your style and stuff. It's still not as easy as
Yeah.
Ian saying, but it's.
But that's
right now,
why
we
I
don't
had
have that.
asked if how
Yeah.
many, you have so many licenses with Vision
Mhm.
for concurrent.
Right, I
Use.
have one more license available.
If you could have one for each member of the board, I don't know what that would cost. There would be a trade-off.
Well, I have,
When you say license, what does that mean? Like,
so what I have, there's also a fee we pay for Vision, IT pays it just to have Vision.
Yeah.
You have up to, we have three right now. I think it's up to 5 is the same price.
okay,
One's on the counter computer, which no one really uses anymore, so we wouldn't even need that. Which would make it,
But
Five
I
to
mean,
two
what's
ma-
it right there? If somebody comes in to file an abatement, they can
yeah,
look at that computer on the counter.
they can do that.
And yeah,
But it would be, like, if someone wants that, any of the board members.
So you have one left over, right?
I have one left over.
We do have one that's like an umbrella though for our consultants, so you could have one login for the three of you, if that's what you chose to do, we could name it like.
So what happens if you try to use somebody else's? Does it just tell you that, you know, you're over the limit?
They won't,
Happens.
if they have to install it, they would have to install it on your home computer.
All right, well, I
someone's-
understand, but you still have to. That's the client.
Right.
Would be known as the client.
Right,
But the client has an identification, so you could put the same client on multiple computers. And as long as they don't all try to go on at the same time, they would work. That's what I'm asking is if the same client was installed on 2 computers, does it stop the second one?
I have
no,
to check that.
no, you just log in as a log.
Well, sometime you exceed the number of seats that you have, 5 seats.
What's really tricky about that, I don't know if we want to get into the whole minutia during a meeting here, but we had a license for 4. We had 5
Five.
because we had
Was it?
at the time 4 people in the office and 1 on the counter.
Is this in Duxbury? or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I started screaming in the mid-teens. I have a $3-4 billion asset that I'm trying to manage, and I can't work on this stuff at home. So I got a laptop. It became another access point, and they never caught up with it. I always was concerned because I had a license for 5. Because once you get over 5, it gets into a 6 to 10 category, and you pay a different fee for that.
Yeah,
But your laptop, I have a laptop, but I just sign into my user. Like, I'm
Yeah,
signing into it.
but
It's
you
not.
aren't, the thing that wigs me out is I was calling their IT department to say, like, I need to set this computer up.
You did.
They were like, yeah, well,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
great. They just like said, okay,
I
fine.
said I would talk to him someday. and
Yeah, come in someday and
So- To be continued.
but that's great. It's still, I guess we can talk about it before next year, but as far as residents still don't have access to it. So that's something the board can decide what they want to do on it. It's budget's tight, so
All right,
that would be,
we got any more bills?
we do. This is for the bill for advertising for the RFP. So we have that out next year, our reval year.
Joy.
So
when you say advertising for the
we
RFP,
have to put it in the paper,
okay.
just so
Charge for the
people,
speaker.
so we don't
Yeah.
put the same.
I just asked so that anybody who's.
Yes,
who's
and
watching.
we usually do more than we need to just so that everyone,
Cover bases.
yeah. Even for our classification hearing, you don't have to advertise in the paper, but in Kingston, we always have along with the website, so people,
It's just in the local.
Do they
it's
tell
just in the
you,
local.
do they tell you where does that appear? Like Patriot Ledger or whatever the Gannett publications are?
It's the local paper, it's not the Patriot Ledger. Trish did the,
Wicked local.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's on the
Thought that
website.
Gannett owned the Ledger, that's why I asked.
But doesn't the Ledger tie into Wicked local? Do they? I don't know.
Yeah, I think Gannett owns the Ledger.
Wicked Local kind of takes things from other sources or vice versa and pulls them up.
Or it takes it from Patriot Ledger.
Yeah.
So far I've only had one turned in, which is, for personal property.
It's crazy that it's $90 approximately to the postage.
Crazy.
That's why there's no more print stuff. That's why it's so expensive. Okay, no more bills?
No more bills, that's the end.
All right,
Do you want to do not anticipated before the,
oh, okay, yeah, so non-anticipated, we have the December abatement report.
yeah, this was just, not put together by the time the agenda was done with it, and it's just it's the end of the month for all the abatements that have been already approved, all the exemptions. That every meeting, the senior exemptions, the veterans exemptions, that you guys approved them. And we just do our end of the month report to the treasurer and the accountant, so people who are getting money back will get the money back, and those other ones, it applies to the bills. Same with motor vehicles. Don't go in the clear part.
Hmm?
That actually has a line.
No, no clear part on that one.
Thank you. Hey,
Okay, so, in open session, you're kind of coming back to something that was old business, is discussion of section 40, chapter 653. I presented some of this stuff last meeting.
any of you need these?
No, I actually printed out. I have it with me.
All right.
So I don't know what questions people have, but, I think it's something we should put on this spring's town meeting so the town can capture that new growth.
Didn't we already put this, when I was on the board back in between, I think I got on 2018 to 2021. I thought that this had come up before. So essentially if my understanding is correct, is typically if you do construction in the course of a year,
Right.
it essentially skips a year until it gets onto your assessment. Is that fair? It's similar to like a sale.
Well, like right now for fiscal 27, it would be what's there January 1st.
As of
It's just a week ago. Yeah.
correct. Versus for fiscal 27, it would be what could be captured between now and
Yeah. So someone built a house February
right of
15th. They're
of
they're just paying
2026.
land. Yeah, they're
Right.
paying on land.
and they would do that until essentially January of the following year.
It'd be basically July.
July. Then it goes to a
Because
fiscal year.
that's when you get the fiscal year bill. I mean, we're looking at fiscal 27 right now for
Right.
billing. So it's a 1/1/26 date. But that person builds the house in February. They're not going to see that
28.
reaction to
July.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. So it would be similar to like if someone bought a house in 2026, they wouldn't see that
If it
until
was a new house,
2028.
it was a brand new house that just came on the books. They might have pulled a permit in December and they purchased it in March and moved in. They wouldn't get an actual real tax bill until the summer of 27.
Sorry.
Yeah, but if it's not a,
I know,
if it's
I
not a
have
new
to write it
house,
down.
somebody would be paying tax on it, whether, because that's what you handle at the closing.
Yeah, but I guess my question, again, everybody might be understanding what I'm asking and maybe I'm just not hearing it correctly. But for example, I'll just use this as an example. There was a house sold so on the LA3, the sales reports, for example, the current values that we see on this are,
Can I, before we set up?
Sure.
LA3, if it's a new house.
yeah,
It's an issue, though 90% of those properties on that LA3 are gonna receive a bill. It was when at closing, you know, the
Correct.
taxes got paid. It's on that brand new house.
but I'm talking about the change in the valuation.
Right, so let's use, like Maureen was saying, this past January, we got January 1st.
Yeah.
So the guy applied for a permit in December.
Yeah,
There was nothing there as 1/1.
right,
Now he shows up, he puts the foundation in. 60 days later, voila, we have, you know, a standard, you know, 3-bedroom, bath and a half house,
Right.
whatever it might be.
Right.
Could be 4 months to build something bigger, right? He's not going to get a bill on that until the summer of 27. He'll get a bill on the land,
right,
but the bill that's going to show up next January 27, that's as of what was there 1/1/26.
Correct.
And it was only dirt.
correct. And so my question is if a house that's already existing sells, just say you have a house that's valued at $500,000.
Yeah.
And it sells for, just say, 750,000 in February of this year. That adjustment on the assessed value of that house wouldn't take effect until
Right.
similarly January of next year, or the 2028 that you're talking about. That's what I'm saying, because all these sales on here occurred in 2024,
Mhm.
and they're just getting the valuation impact in January of 2026. So there's almost like a 1 year lag time.
I basically say it's 2 years. We used
Okay.
24 sales to value 26.
26.
Yeah, we'll be
That's a
doing
better
20,
way to think.
yeah.
Right, okay,
26 bill comes out using 24 sales.
24 sales.
I will say in the past, what I've experienced is, you know, that guy that bought this house this February, there may be sales from 25 that happened that are also influencing why that guy paid 750. So his neighborhood might just be seeing a big
Right.
because I don't know, they found something near there, yeah, whatever. So the values are skyrocketing. So there may be prior sales that may edge his up. His value might have only been 550, yet somebody paid 750 for it. So do his value go up to 600 because there were sales in 25 that influenced it.
But that's
And his 26 sale is going to further influence the next value.
But that's not new, because that's not,
No, I don't even think he was talking about new construction.
This doesn't impact that though.
No.
right.
Right, I guess what I'm asking is, so if you had new construction in 2024, the value from that new construction 2024 wouldn't take effect till 2026, similar to sales of existing homes.
It's wherever was there January 1st is the value.
Yeah, okay,
The thing is the 26 valuation date was 1/1/25. So what was on that site as a 1/1/25? The new house in 24.
correct,
It's getting a bill.
yeah,
I think the thing is I basically look at it as there's a 6-month gap that, you know, depending, if you're before or after January 1st, or stuff happens before or after July 1st. You know, does that push you into the next fiscal year for value or not? Instead of being out for a whole year, right?
right, I get you.
It just shortens up the time frame. And I look at, since the town is, not that this is going to bring in huge money, but I just think it's,
Scrapping for cash.
no, it's not scrapping for cash, but I think it's more equitable.
See, I disagree.
For how many houses that you have, right? You're getting a bill on those properties all the time, right? And somebody builds a house, they should not pay taxes on that for a whole year.
But it's the same thing as if someone buys a house for way more than it's valued for, and we always say the sales determine the valuation of the home, which then impacts your property taxes. So similar to someone buying an existing home, say, for example, again, I'm just picking one
Mhm.
out of the hat here. So like, there's a house here that was valued at 455,000 and it sold for 615,000. Well, they're not getting impacted by that tax until a full year later. So
So on similar houses getting impacted, yeah.
correct, but
But that's also assuming that whoever bought the house didn't just overpay for it. Because if the house isn't worth it, it isn't worth it. People do overpay.
that's correct.
That's the market.
But that's the thing, but
Right,
that's the thing
not-
that's what we're using as the
House
market.
house in my neighborhood that paid for over $1 million, and that house, you just gave them an abatement, right? The little
But which
cape.
one?
We talked about it across from Jim.
The antique.
That house was not worth $1 million,
No, no,
$1 million,
but that was
10,000.
that was data corrections.
Yeah, so there's always gonna be outliers,
So,
but
I mean, so then I have a reason to do it. It's like, yeah, I'll go and inspect it.
Because it was
It's
always,
like-
they overpaid.
So they had paid for it and I changed the data because I have
On
to
that-
do what's there.
On that LA3 that gets submitted to the state, the ratio for that is gonna be on those sales that, or the median ratio is gonna be 95. The state's gonna go, okay, great, you're in, you got CODs. So there might be an individual on there that has paid 650 and they're only valued at 5. But there's gonna be a guy on there that paid 5 and he's valued at 650.
right, so to me, it doesn't matter which way it goes. My point really is about the timing, right? So someone who buys a property in 2024 doesn't see whether they paid more for it, whether they paid less for it. They don't see the change on that assessed value until 2026. And in terms of being equitable, I think the same should hold true for new construction as well, that houses that are built in 2024 shouldn't see the impact until 2026. You know, the other thing too is just going back to,
That's
prior,
exactly what this does.
no, this one jumps at 6 months earlier.
No, if it was a house that was built in 2024, the valuation date for 2026 is 1/1/25. So whatever was on that parcel is a 1/1/25. That's what's gonna get billed for 2026.
So what about all the stuff we picked up between January
Yeah.
and June 30th?
But he's going back to looking at all these sales, and here an individual bought a house in May of 2024.
Yeah.
They bought a new house. Everybody that bought a house in 2024 is getting a bill based on what all the sales said we should adjust the tables to, land in building, and then those new constructions also fall into that. The thing is in the case, if someone bought a house in 2024, he would have gotten a bill for that in 2025, fiscal 25.
Right, they would have gotten a bill for it, but not based on the sale of that property at that time. So similar to someone has a vacant lot, they put a house on it, it now has a new value. Well, when someone buys a house for more than we have it assessed at, that has a new value. And so those new valuations and those increases in valuations, whether it's an existing house or a new construction or even an addition, those as of now aren't getting picked up until the subsequent year. And so what I'm saying is I don't think that's equitable to just go after the new construction and say, well, you have new value, right? Because we look at new value, not just from size of the house. We consider like new value as new growth. So new growth is even an increase in sales price. Is that not fair to say?
No, that's not part of it. That's part of the revale. The new growth is just if it's something that wasn't taxable before. So it would be an
Significant
addition.
change or.
Oh, so forgive me. That's not how it had been explained to me in years past.
Okay.
By, I'll say any assessor in this town. And I'm going back to 2014 because
Yeah.
you guys don't know, I ask a lot of the same questions over and over again. That's not how it was explained, that if a house sold for more than it was valued, assessed at,
That's not new growth.
that was being considered as new growth. Okay.
That is actually what is in the revaluation of it. The new growth is like additions, new homes.
And that's how I always understood it, but I was always
Yeah.
trumped over
Right.
in terms of that. But the other thing I do want to mention too is, just going back to when I was discussing putting more information on the executive sessions, and there was a concern, especially for Mr. Dunn, about, the office has already worked significantly, that I don't think that it's really, appropriate in line with what Mr. Dunn had been saying to essentially now we're going to be adding even more work. And that's going to be more work than just adding a couple more details to an executive session agenda. So, for those reasons, including what I had said prior, I'm not in support of it.
Ken, do you have any comments?
I agree that it doesn't bring in a whole lot more money. It does bring in more money. The other thing that it does is it increases the levy ceiling earlier because you're bringing those things on 6 months, you're bringing them on so that they're on at the end of the year, that new growth. because that is new growth.
Mhm.
That's on 6 months earlier, so it increases the levy limit 6 months earlier too, doesn't it?
For the first year as well, I think so, the first year, right? You would get, so right now I would be doing all the permits for 25. If this passed, it would be all of 25 in the first 6 months,
Well, it would
to
be,
June 30th. But that's
It would
the
be
only
next
one
year.
year you get
yeah,
the extra.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, since they're coming on earlier, they're increasing the levy limit earlier. And I don't know what that means.
Mhm.
I guess I don't know what your schedule is, your routine. I know it's very cyclical, as is most offices in the town
Yeah,
hall.
my
I would be
opinion on
more
that.
interested in that, what it does to the workload and, when you can do things. And if it makes it more convenient, then I'm all for it.
So for me, I don't have a vote on this, but I'm really fine either way with it. My only concern is doing it this year.
This particular
This
year.
particular year because it's a reval year and
but the thing is if it gets voted on at this town meeting,
Right.
it would take effect for fiscal 27.
that would be fun, like
But
just for it to be
It can't
26.
take effect in fiscal 26. That ship is already going to have
Yeah,
sailed by
okay,
the time.
Okay, so it wouldn't be during your reval year
Yeah.
anyway.
No.
So either way,
the
that's my
thing
only
is it
concern.
would be, it would basically start to implement from 1/1/27 to
right.
June 30th, 27, affecting 28.
Correct, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So
And
that shouldn't be a,
I mean,
I'm good with it either way.
just in
whatever
the
you've
towns I've
done.
worked in the past,
now, did you have it in Duxbury?
yes.
And do you have it in where you are now?
Yes.
You do.
And it works seamlessly.
Yeah.
The thing that we always did in Duxbury was, I think we looked for permits 50,000 and higher.
Between,
Of what we had outstanding. Like
Yeah.
every February, March, we'd run a report outstanding permits. What do we got to go see? And Scott was pretty good about being on par with checking out all the new houses that might have a permit for 900 to build this behemoth
okay,
monster.
so these are the ones that you would be trying to capture before June
Right. But
30th.
the bigger thing is that you want for the taxpayer is an individual that builds a brand new house. Okay. I don't want them to get a tax bill in January that they're going to have to pay for this house in 2 payments. I want to be able to capture that in June and then put that on their card, and it spreads it out over 4 payments. So, their bill might have been they might get 750 or 1,000 with just the land. So they get a $4,000 tax bill. Now I put the house on there and I want to be able to spread that over 4 payments. So instead of their bill going from 4,000 to say 8,000, they're going to get a bill in January that's going to be, instead of $1,000, they're going to be trying to pick up that extra 4,000. So it's going to go from 1,000 to 3,000 per quarter.
But also I see that happening with just on the sales data, right? So I mean, I've had people saying that their property tax have gone up $6,000 this year, with their bills as of January.
Wouldn't
So
it have been nice? Okay, if it went up 6,000, I can guarantee you the guy did something. The people did something to
Yeah.
that property.
no, they didn't. I can guarantee you they didn't, but that's okay.
Okay, all right,
That's okay.
great.
Um,
But the thing is that person that puts that new property on there, they're going to have a smoother billing period. And a weird part that I can never figure out, and the whole time I've been doing this stuff, is that a mortgage company figures your escrow from that preliminary bill. I don't know why they do that. I don't know why they don't look at what comes out in January, but I can't fix that.
and so I understand what you're saying in terms of being smoother, but going back to the equitable part, it might be smoother for some, but it's not smoother for everybody else, right? So my thing is because we can't make it smooth for everybody, the sales and the new construction.
I don't know how you can say that it's not smooth for the sales.
It
When I
doesn't
have a
really
sheet
affect
there
them.
that's telling me that the ratio is 95, there's some folks that are lower, some folks that are higher, and it's all working out. The state approved that list.
So for some of the people, just say they got a $3,000 increase in their tax.
What
bill
about
this
the
year.
guy that's on that sheet that actually went down?
Okay, it's the same thing. So it doesn't matter whether it's up or down. It's just about applying the same, again, I guess parity might be the term in terms of how we do everything. So when it comes to, my concern, generally speaking, is people getting hit with tax increases.
For something that they put on a property. They put something on a property.
But I'm also thinking about the salespeople that didn't put anything on the property, that didn't make any adjustments.
They bought a brand new house.
That if there's, or even the people that are impacted by the sales of other sales in their neighborhood, right? So for example, if someone's assessment goes from, I'm just making an arbitrary 500,000 for hypothetical to 650 or 750,000. So their bill that they get in July is going to be set as a price, but then the bill that they get in January is going to take into consideration that increased valuation. And then they're going to have that non-smooth transition
If it's a
again.
brand new house, you're gonna put that building on the preliminary bill so that it's billed in 4 quarters.
But it's, I mean, 4 quarters unequal.
It's
So we
never
know
gonna
that
be equal.
it's never equal. We have this year that by law, you can put 2.5% increase on the preliminary bills. And we did that this year, so it isn't as big of today, the values went up more this year than the other years, but
Mhm.
so by putting the 2% on earlier, at least the bills aren't as big of a jump from the preliminary to the actuals. I know that's not all of your question, but that helps a little bit with,
Yeah, it
them
doesn't
not
change the
getting-
tax.
it
It just
doesn't change,
moves
yeah.
some of it forward.
right, so it's a little bit easier. To handle, but
All right, are we ready to vote on this?
I guess I'm in favor of it depending on the workload, and I don't see that there's
I'm okay with it as long as
Okay,
it's not,
change in
and
the
you guys
workload.
said it's not 26, so
No, I think
again,
you're
I can
good.
work with it either way.
And again, all that concerns I still want to reiterate that, if putting additional information on meeting minutes is going to be more taxing on the office, I don't see how this wouldn't be more taxing on the office.
It's just for that though, it's still gonna be a 12-month period. It's a 12-month period in 25, and now I'm gonna be going from, any offers from July to June 30th. So it's still 12 months of permits.
right
It's just
instead
the
of
first year that will be
Right.
the big one. So it's not more work in that regards, it's just a different time frame. But the
Yeah,
first year will be a little bit more.
because that first year is 18 months
Correct.
instead of.
All right, I think we beat this horse enough. I don't really want to go into this another time. I call for a vote. All those in favor of putting,
You should make a motion, right?
well, I think we already, did we have a motion last meeting? I don't even know if we had a motion or I just presented.
So
We didn't have a motion.
we're
Yeah.
voting whether or not we want to put it on
Right.
this annual.
Okay,
town
so I will make a motion to present Mass General Law, Chapter 59, Section 40 of
yeah.
Chapter 659 on the May 2026 town meeting for effect 7/1/2026 for fiscal 27.
Friendly amendment, chapter 653.
Yes,
Okay,
right. I vote yea.
I agree. I vote yes.
No.
Okay. Yeah, right. Hearing, we get all our votes, so. And, okay. Having done that, we will move to enter executive session at 6:09. I move to enter into executive session, not to return to open session in order to comply with Mass General Law, Chapter 59, Section 60, to discuss exemption abatement application, the contents of which are not public record. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night.